Well, hi there and good afternoon. A few years ago, I had a speaking engagement in Arizona, and both of our kids graduated from the U of A, University of Arizona in Tucson, and the speaking engagement was at one of the resorts in Tucson. So it became a family affair. We all went. We rented a van because we had Sadie with us, our eldest granddaughter, who must have been about 3 at the time, I think, somewhere right around there, 3 going on 4. And our son and I, Ryan and I, were trying to put a car seat in the back of the van, and we were having our difficulties doing that. And if you could picture the two of us in this van struggling with a car seat, and probably struggling against each other, and this tiny little bit of a 2x0 standing in the open doorway of the van, crouched down, looking forward, arms outstretched towards us, with the following admonishment: guys, you just gotta focus. And naturally, it broke the mood. We both got hysterical. We realized that she was probably right. And subsequently, we were successful in getting the car seat installed and went on about our journey. But I think that's something that's worthy of at least a little bit of exploration. And that is to focus only on those things over which you have control. And realistically, you have to realize it's not a big list. It really isn't a big list. I think I understand that more and better now that I've been through the disease process of my illness and the transplant process, and recognize how much is out of your control most of the time. But realistically, if there's a hierarchy, it has to be to focus on those things over which you have direct control, which is yourself, really, or elements of your own personality, your own ability to react, process information, and to have influence, to have control over your influence. You know, what you can bring to an event in which you try to go ahead and modify or change the outcome. So once you realize that control is an illusion, and not a very good one at that, life becomes a lot simpler. And once you stop trying to control things over which you have control, you have no control, like the way other people are going to react, or the way a disease might go. Then life gets a lot simpler. And let me give you an example of that, especially with the disease. I can't necessarily influence the outcome of the transplant. I could not have influenced the outcome of my primary myelofibrosis. What I could do, that I could control, was what I ate. I could control my diet, what I put in my body. Only to the extent that Leslie was willing to cooperate, but she was willing to go ahead and cooperate fully. So that was something that I could do. I could control the amount of exercise that I got, which is something that I did. When it came to eat, walk, drink, I could go ahead and make sure I consumed enough liquid, that I hydrated myself properly. But after that, the ball was out of my court. And I think that's an important thing to realize, because in all the seminar work that I've done over the years, one of the most important, one of the most powerful admonitions that I found was a definition of frustration. And a definition of frustration is responsibility without authority, which is just another way of saying responsibility without the control to change anything. So these things occur when you're dependent upon others. These things occur when when things are out of your control. And the natural result of trying to change things that you have no sway over is frustration, is anxiety, is dread. So I think that that's worthy of a little thought, because I think all of us are guilty of at one time or another trying to go ahead and control an outcome that is someone else's responsibility. If you go back a number of blog posts where I spoke of Flight of the Buffalo, and we talked about the keys for success, one of the keys for success was understanding what obstacles stand in the way of success, and the importance of understanding who owns those obstacles. If the obstacle's mine, I can control what happens from my perspective, how I react to whatever that obstacle is, and how I go ahead and try to remove it. If the obstacle belongs to somebody else, all I can do is influence them. And then that depends on, respect and a number of other variables that are just too difficult to comprehend and categorize in some instances. So think about that for a second, and think about how much time we spend trying to control stuff we really shouldn't be paying attention to, and how little time we focus on controlling those things that we can control, and how much more successful we'd be if we eliminated the latter and focused only on that which we control. While you're thinking about that, I'll say good afternoon. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay well. Take care. The weekend's coming.